Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
All glories to Assembled devotees. Pranam.
Haribol.
Dandavat. Cameroon.
Would like Hare Krishna to everyone. Would like everyone to kindly mute your phone for the time being. We have a co-host who is Narayana Rishi. He'll be helping with this seminar this evening here in India. And as you all know, this is the first in a series. The first day probably we'll have a few hiccups. We hope not too many. And some people, some devotees are joining today, and some of them in the last 1 hour. So we're trying to get everyone on board as much as possible. And I would like my co-host, Narayana Rishi, to kindly let me know if he's there somewhere.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, I'm here.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So you're looking after people who might be knocking at the door or asking to join, etc., like that, right?
Yeah, I'll maintain the things behind Maharaj.
Yes. Okay, very good. Thank you. So I would like to actually bring up for each of the presentations, I will be using PowerPoint, and on each PowerPoint, we'll be outlining the content of each module. And each session, of course, will be recorded, and that is something we'll be sharing with all those who are attending. So I will, let's see, yeah. I will bring up the PowerPoint for this evening, which is basically an introduction. So I will share my screen. Okay, share my screen. Yes. Just a few seconds here. We'll bring up our, yes. Whether this is Narayana Rishi, whether this is suitable
Yes, Maharaj, it's visible. I think if you expand it, it should be much more clear.
Okay, we'll try that in a second here. Yes. Okay, you got that. And I have a whole line of participants on my right side that I would like to kind of minimize, but it's not happening. Oh, okay, got it. So the title of our seminar is a Gita Nagari essay, Unearthing Hidden Seeds. Yes. And this is being presented by Varnashram College Online, VCO. I'll be explaining a little bit of what that is for those who may not be familiar. So, of course, before I begin, I would like to welcome all the devotees who have signed up, registered for this 10-day seminar. And each seminar, or each module rather, will give an opportunity to the participants to either make comments or ask questions. At least we will leave something like 20 minutes at the end. So as I make this presentation, if you have any questions, kindly make a note of them. And then at some particular time, we'll open up for questions. This theme, simple living and high thinking, we all know as devotees, as members of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, a very major theme, often given to us, repeated by our founder, Acharya Srila Prabhupada. And in many ways, Gita Nagari is echoing this theme. This photo, which is actually a painting from Cambodia, anyone who has been to Cambodia will probably have seen something similar. It is actually a very ideal example of what Vedic culture is all about. It's primarily an agrarian culture where a village life is the main lifestyle for the vast majority of people. The content of our presentation today will cover the following 10 points. I'll be speaking a little bit about Vedic sociology because in the larger context, it's very much connected with Vedic sociology, which is something that we don't have in modern day society. We have what is called Western sociology. We'll just touch on that because Gita Nagari is in many ways touching on this as well. I'll explain a bit about what is VCF and VCO, briefly comment on the subtitle for this first module, Unearthing Hidden Seeds. I will also give a list of the 10 modules, which have been put up actually on our website, but just briefly mention them. And student participation, what is expected, something about the diploma. And at the end, if time allows, we'll spend some time on a foreword that I wrote quite some time back to this essay on Gita Nagari. Actually, many devotees within our society know very little about Gita Nagari, and many have also not read, or if they have read, many are, I would say, maybe not quite realizing the type of content and projection and vision actually that Prabhupada put within the pages of Gita Nagari. So we'll continue here. You can remove me from the main screen for a second.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I think your screen went down. It's not sharing anymore.
It is now, I think.
No, it is not, Maharaj. We are not able to see your presentation.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. You were a few minutes ago?
Yeah, we were able to see a few minutes ago.
Okay, so I don't know what happened here. Let me let me close and share again. Yeah. Whoops. Yeah. You can see it now, I think.
Yes, it's visible, Maharaj.
Okay, yeah. I was wondering why I came back to the screen. Something happened. Okay, so we'll just go a little forward here. So we just covered the content, the 10 points. For invocation, I chose a short statement, which is within the say Gita Nagari, which I felt sizes a nicely important statement that there is no other practical, properly speaking, here, no practical solution, the scientific basis of universal brotherhood or of universal religion without understanding the simple truth of the fatherhood, Godhead, motherhood of nature, and childhood of all living entities. It's in the second part of Gita. So this is important actually for those. Hare Krishna. For those who are participating, if you can make a note of this, of course, we'll share it later on. When you will be submitting your first assignment, I'll explain that a little bit later on. There basically will be 2 assignments in the middle and at the end. So when submitting the first assignment, I would request that you include the following information in terms of your name, country of origin, present location, email address, present occupation or service, and since how long or how many years you are in contact with ISKCON. I was actually going to have everyone introduce themselves, thinking I would have about 20 or so participants, but because there are more, I'm seeing about 77 presently online, so I think it's not practical. But I would request that you kindly supply this information later on. Okay, just continuing here. Let's see. Okay, yeah, and number 7. So these are the 7 points. I mentioned a little earlier about sociology. This, I'm just taking a few slides here to make a few points. It's part of another PowerPoint seminar I gave a couple of years ago on Vedic sociology. I think we all have some little understanding of what is sociology, and this is the definition that we can all find on the Wikipedia. Naturally, sociology studies society and deals with both individuals and social issues. What is Western sociology? Many of us may not be familiar. Sorry for the marks there. I don't know how that happened. Sociology as a scholarly discipline emerged primarily out of the Enlightenment thought shortly after the French Revolution as a positivist science of society. And the person, of course, who has coined the name sociology is a French person by the name of Auguste Comte. And basically, he rejected religion and royalty, which for us should be significant. We should see that as rejecting, Brahminical culture and Kshatriya culture, actually. Since that time, Prabhupada actually makes a reference to how it's only in the last couple of 100 years that we are on this tangent, which is a major deviation, we could say, from Vedic culture. We'll understand a bit more here. It comes out very clearly in this second paragraph here, how this approach is basically focusing on sensory experience interpreted through reason and logic, which forms, according to this philosophy, the exclusive source of all certain knowledge. Obviously, for anyone who has knowledge about Vedic culture, Vedic sciences, this is totally unacceptable. Unfortunately, modern day society is completely based on this deviation. And of course, what is Vedic sociology? We should understand, according to the three modes of material nature and the work associated with them, the system of Varna and Ashrama. And as Prabhupada mentions in the purport to that text, that this system is actually is created by Krishna, meant to help us systematically develop our Krishna consciousness. So this whole presentation, of course, is being presented by what is called Varnashram College Foundation. So I'd like to just to explain a few things as background information also. Before Varnashram College Foundation was established, which was in 2021, in the year 2020, a group of devotees launched what is called Varnashram College Online. And you can visit the website, actually, where a number of courses were initiated at that time. And a number of teachers from different countries and students took up various courses. Our Varnashram College Online was primarily focused for men's education. And that is why we're seeing on the screen here on the top, Varnashram Men's College. So I'll just explain briefly about this. Number 2, as you can see, is Varnashram College Foundation. This was actually officially registered as similar to, I guess, a nonprofit organization here in India by the same group of devotees who launched the Varnashram College Online. And I should add that the Varnashram College Online was, and still is, connected with the Ministry of Education. So Varnashram College Foundation, I'll speak about it more in detail in another session, but just very briefly, was established, as I mentioned, in 2021, and it is being established here in Sridham Mayapur. The VCF, Varnashram College Foundation, has a board of directors made up at present of 4 individuals. It also has a number of advisors. Some of them are members of this seminar. I'll mention their names a little bit later on. And the location for this Varnashram College is, we could say, adjacent to the Mayapur master plan. For those who know Mayapur a little bit, it's north of the Rasamrita Kunj, which is not far from the Jalangi River. So basically, it's about 1 kilometer to the east of the Mayapur Institute, which is probably more known. Mayapur Institute is, of course, in itself east of the Mayapur Gurukul. And this is the mandate, very briefly, of the VCF, or Varnashram College Foundation, to train Varnashram College Acharyas, which means basically Brahmanas. Secondly, to train Gurukul Acharyas, again, Brahmanas. And number 3, to actually train village or state Acharyas, which means actually Kshatriyas. Part of the, one of the modules will be giving more information about all of this. I'm just giving a basic overview. Yeah. If anyone wants more information, you can visit these 2 websites. The Varnashram College Foundation is more recent and is still, you could say, a work in progress. And why do I consider a Gita Nagari a very important document? Well, to a large extent, because there are some hidden treasures, I would say, hidden seeds, which if one doesn't even read or doesn't even know about the essay Gita Nagari, or if one does not attentively study or enter into what Srila Prabhupada is conveying, then we will actually not be able to understand what Srila Prabhupada was envisioning and projecting so many years before actually implementing in the Western countries. So basically, the seeds of the Krishna consciousness movement we can find in the essay on Gita Nagari, the relevance of a Daiva Varnashrama, the relevance of Brahmacharya training through traditional Gurukula, the importance and the process by which one should fix up one's Varna, because Varna determines not only ashram, but Varna also determines education. The relevance of the Grihastha ashram, the relevance of the Vanaprastha ashram, these are all dealt with by Srila Prabhupada in the pages of Gita Nagari. Number 7, the relevance of Sanskrit language, the importance. The relevance of communities, the need and the importance for establishing Vedic communities or Vrindavan communities, Vrindavan villages, yes. So these, some of these, we will be dealing directly in some of the modules. And these are the modules that we will be looking at in the days to come. We are now in the first module, introduction, and tomorrow's module will be dealing with the vision, Srila Prabhupada's vision, which every one of us as members of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness must have a clear understanding of that vision. And in many ways, I would say that if one hasn't properly read or understood Gita Nagari, then that vision will be blurred. Well, that vision will not be complete. That is, that is my humble proposal. Third model, of course, will deal with Srila Prabhupada and Gandhiji, because Prabhupada, as we know, on a number of occasions, spoke about Gandhi. We know how Prabhupada was influenced in the sense that he was attracted in the early days. He was wearing khadi. He was sympathizing initially. Of course, when he met with his Guru Maharaj, things changed. Something very important, the fourth module, debate, or let's say it's an actual difference of ideology between two important persons in India who were very much to this day influential in shaping up India, and we will see by focusing on this particular I would say difference of ideology, how this is pertinent and important for us actually as a movement in dealing with the social, political, and educational issues of the day. And the fifth model will be, I'm sorry, I don't know how this is happening here. The four movements of ISKCON, something very important. Selection of Varna will be dealing with that specifically. Establishing Gurukula 7, number, let's see here. Establishing Varnashram colleges, and then establishing Vaishnava Vedic villages. And the last one will be speaking about and understanding the difference between and the importance of harmonizing what is called material and spiritual Swadharma. What the students will gain, well, hopefully an increased awareness of what is Daiva Varnashrama Dharma. It will serve as a roadmap actually to introduce Varnashram men's colleges, also a roadmap to introduce traditional Gurukulas, and clarity on basic concepts and principles, and how to eventually, whoops, I skipped here, roadmap to community development or making villages. And basically gaining some understanding of some basic principles and concepts. Okay. Something important for those who are participating in this seminar. Student participation. I request that those who actually want to get certified or receive a, we could say, attendance certificate from our Varnashram college, that they need to attend 8 of the sessions, at 80% of the seminars. They also will need to write a short. It won't be, we know you're all busy devotees, but one short assignment will be there, written assignment, after the 5th module. And after the 10th module, the second written assignment, also nothing very major. And then field work, practical application, I'll explain that a little bit more later on. And I'll maybe formalize it so that it's easy to understand. Yes, therefore, those who will be attending, we'll be giving them some recognition in terms of diploma. I'm not sure what we'll call it exactly, diploma or certificate, but it will only be awarded to those who are completing their assignments, including the field work. And there'll be a period of about 2 months to complete all of the above. We can either send it by email or physically post it to you as well. Generally, it will be easier, quicker, and less expensive as well to send it to all of you by email. Okay. We have time to actually look at the foreword to Gita Nagari essay. I think it will be helping us to know a bit more about this essay as and its importance. There's about 5 slides here, but I don't think I will read all of them. But the first 2, I think, are important. So I will just, you can follow on the screen. I wrote this actually about 10 years ago, because 10 years back, Gita Nagari essay, we tried here in India to get it published for different reasons. I could explain later on. We were not successful. And in that context, I had written this essay, probably more than 10 years, actually. The work, Gita Nagari essay, remains somewhat unknown to most devotees within the ISKCON society. If not the title, at least the content, including many of its leaders, unfortunately. It is amazing that such an important document has not yet been published in a book format since its first appearance in the year 1956 in the Back to Godhead magazine, written by Goswami Abhay Charan Bhaktivedanta, later to be known as A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. What most devotees are unaware of is that the main theme found in this essay was outlined practically verbatim in an even earlier letter composed by Srila Prabhupada in the year 1949. So if we think that 1956 is going quite far back, well, we go even further to 1949. We'll speak on that a little bit later. In other words, there's an intimate and direct connection between this letter that Prabhupada wrote in 1949 and the essay which he printed in his Back to Godhead magazine. Now, what is even more astonishing is that a typing error that occurred in the 1956 Back to Godhead publication was repeated again when the article was transferred to the database or folio. And to this day, to my knowledge, it remains undetected. This error is considered, in my humble estimation, as monumental when we consider that the result of this omission has kept one of the most significant sections of the work in relative darkness, concealed as it were, due to two segments being merged in one. We will identify this oversight as we introduce the essay. Now, I should mention that this essay is available, although it's not published in a book format. It is on the folio. And I highly recommend, I probably should have mentioned that even earlier, but it's only quite recent that we have decided to make this presentation. But I highly recommend those who have yet not read the essay Gita Nagari to kindly go through the folio. Some things are a little bit hidden. Essay on Gita Nagari is kind of hidden a little bit. I'll try to find the maybe a heading. It might be under, let's see, another work which is hidden is what is called speaking about Varnashrama. We'll comment on that a little bit later on. I will continue here with the foreword. Yes. So this omission actually becomes more critical when we consider the second point, which is the printing error, yet to be corrected in identifying these four movements. Yeah. Actually, in both Gita Nagari, as well as this letter of 1949, now this may be a little bit technical, but it's an important point. Both documents, and in many ways, more so the 1949 letter written by Srila Prabhupada, makes reference to four movements, four Gandhi movements. Let me just read. I think it's mentioned somewhere here. This will become clear in the publishing of this book, where we have edited that section by adding section D, which introduces this otherwise merged fourth movement, referring to the classless society or Varnashrama Dharma. In order to give more credibility to this correction, we have chosen to add the 1949 letter written by Honorable Sardar Dr. Vallabhbhai Patel, Deputy Prime Minister to the Government of India, which essentially outlines the same theme. The third point of interest is the clear reference by Srila Prabhupada to some of Gandhi's Vedic concepts. One of those being brought out again and again by Srila Prabhupada when speaking about Gandhi's ideas of village organization. So I think it's we'll continue here, and as I mentioned, we'll have time. I think we'll have plenty of time for possible questions and comments here. I'm just going to the third portion here of this foreword. At a time when our ISKCON society is struggling hard to meet the challenges of an ever increasing complex and artificial society based on utopian ideals of globalization, liberalism, and unending consumerism, one which is being recognized more and more by some leading intellectuals, educationalists, social scientists, and non-governmental organizations as being unsustainable, sociologically and ecologically life-threatening, and thus inertly and inevitably destructive, putting in peril the very existence of this planet. This short essay cuts through the speculative plans and so-called remedies of modern thinkers to present the gist on what an ideal society and lifestyle should be, which means Narayan, Haribol. Somebody needs to be muted, yeah. Localized and self-governed communities, villages, based on the perennial teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, the essence of the most ancient wisdom, the Vedic scriptures. So there's just 2 more pages here. In this short essay on Gita Nagari, the author gives importance to both spirituality and education as being concomitant factors, each supporting and complementing one another to build a healthy and successful community. And Gita, of course, refers to Lord Krishna's instructions in the Bhagavad Gita, and Nagari refers to that place where one lives according to these teachings. First, one must establish a place of worship which will help unite all the community members in one common goal and objective, service to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Immediately after establishing such a temple, one should give attention to developing educational facilities for the members of the society. In the Vedic tradition, this takes the form of both formal, Gurukul, and non-formal vocational training education. In itself, a complete and scientific educational system found in the ideology of a Varnashram-based community. And I believe, okay, we just have basically 2 slides here. Srila Prabhupada thus gives various insights to the ancient social, cultural, and educational system of Varna, social orders, and Asrama, spiritual orders. He outlines 4 basic criteria which help one understand one's Varna or social occupation. Without knowing one's social occupation, one will not be able to know which spiritual order to enter in later life. So first of all, these Varnas, then Asramas. This is a direct quote from Srila Prabhupada from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, verse 41. Srila Prabhupada also gives insights regarding those individuals in the retired life, the Vanaprasthas, and how they are meant to take advantage of the Gita Nagari community. They will live there without having to pay, and they will assist in whatever way they can to maintain and develop the community at Gita Nagari. And concluding here, the foreword, the essay on Gita Nagari is a document that advocates the simultaneous social and spiritual upliftment of society. It aims at meeting all the basic needs of individuals in society, the physical, mental, social, and spiritual dimension of life. Even at the localized level of a Gita Nagari community, the preaching spirit will remain strong, and members of the community will be encouraged to broadcast the message of Godhead to neighboring villages. Srila Prabhupada even makes reference to the importance of Sanskrit by explaining that after independence, India should have opted for Sanskrit as its national language over that of Hindi. Okay, this is the conclusion. In conclusion, the essay on Gita Nagari is that document par excellence, which gives clear insights as to how the founder Acharya of ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada wanted and expected the movement of Lord Chaitanya to be introduced and conducted. He himself stated that his ISKCON mission was yet to be completed. That means the establishment of Varnashram communities all over the world. Devotees who are serious to undertake this important facet of Srila Prabhupada's mission, the Varnashram mission, will be eager to read this essay and draw out from it the inspiration and the know-how by which Srila Prabhupada's dream of thousands of Gita Nagari communities can be established on all the continents of the globe. Global Varnashrama is possible. Global Varnashrama is a must. This essay on Gita Nagari shows us the way. I will stop sharing my screen and actually this is, as I mentioned earlier, the first in a series of seminars that we are giving here. And we are finishing a little early, which I think is not bad, in that we can open up for possible comments or questions. I might have gone a little bit quick over some aspects of the presentation, and I should mention that there are a number of devotees who are present on this session today, who have been and who continue also to be active in regards to the Varnashrama mission. In particular, I would like to point out or just mention a few names and request them if they have any comments to make. And two devotees that just come to mind right now, because I can't see all the devotees who are present here, and I don't do actually seminars online so often, so I'm a little green, as they say, behind the ears. So kindly don't mind. Krishna consciousness, fortunately, is a learning experience for all of us. But before mentioning these two devotees, maybe I should just share a little bit how, I mean, it would have been very nice, actually, if everyone could have introduced themselves, but, when you have like, I don't know, how many people are there? Over 80 people, just just to introduce everyone, with the whole session would be gone, isn't it? Yeah. So I very much appreciate that all of you, at a rather short notice, actually, because up until maybe even yesterday, the day before, I think not many devotees knew about this seminar. And one of the devotees who helped, I would say, is our Venugopal Prabhu, who is based here in Mayapur, actually. And some of you, I think many of you probably do know him. For those who don't, he has been connected with the IDVM. IDVM, for those who may not know, is the ISKCON Daiva Varnashram Ministry, the only national ministry that I know of in our Hare Krishna world, which has been established actually since the year 2009. So we're talking about 14 years. This national ministry has been established, and practically from the beginning, Venugopal, who was at that time a little younger than he is now, 14 years younger, but he became connected, and he subsequently actually undertook some in-depth study related actually to various subject matters, in particular in Sanskrit, but related to our whole Vaishnava philosophy, a major part of which is actually Varnashrama Dharma. We cannot speak about dharma if we are here in the material world, and we are, without also speaking about Varnashrama Dharma. So he was very helpful in sharing the information for the seminar to many of his contacts, in the last 48 hours, I would say. And we also have with us Devarshi Prabhu, who has been connected with our VCO, actually from giving lectures in French to devotees, in different places, but especially in France, I guess, and also in West Africa, where we have a number of French speaking devotees. There are actually, I think these seminars, I'm hoping, should give an opportunity for all of us to maybe express different things, because we don't really have, although some of us have been trying for a number of years, but we don't really have a global forum whereby Varnashram can actually be expressed and promoted on a global level. We have within our ISKCON society, I don't want to ramble on too much here. We have many global ministries, but we have yet to see established a global ministry for Varnashrama, although some attempts have been made. And maybe just to give a little hope, to devotees, just very, very, very recently, some discussions came to my attention, and I can't really give details about it right now, of establishing a kind of a global maybe committee to specifically deal with the subject matter of Varnashrama Dharma. So Vinigopal Prabhu is one person, and Devarshi Prabhu is another, who are very much connected and involved with education. And I'm sure there are others as well. I didn't have a chance to go through the pictures here to see who's online. Okay. I'm just starting to do that now, and but I won't, as much as it is interesting to do that. Of course, most devotees are hiding behind their names here. Some of them are alive. In any event, I would like to open it up. Invite both Vinigopal Prabhu and Devarshi Prabhu, without putting too much pressure on them, if they would like to make any comment on our presentation today, or any kind of general comment regarding maybe the importance of this subject matter. We can begin maybe with our Devarshi Prabhu, who I see there somewhere, maybe in France, I think. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Yes, I am in France.
Okay. Yes.
So actually, why I get inspired by that subject of Varnashram Dharma, and also about Gita Nagari essay.
Yes.
It is mainly because when you give a seminar in French a few years ago about sociology, you were presenting to, I did not knew all this thing before. So it was like a surprise. And actually, after meditating on that, I really realized that the daily Varnashram Dharma is really essential to become satisfied and happy. These are really such topics, and with my engagement with the devotee in West Africa, and many of them also were quite, it's like a new life, about we can develop pure bhakti and also Varnashram Dharma together, in parallel. It's really complete. I'm very, I was very grateful about that that way of life. And this has really helped me to understand more deeply about Krishna consciousness.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Prabhu. So, Venugopal Prabhu, and then maybe after Venugopal Prabhu speaks, if anyone would like to make some comment or ask questions or clarification, our Narayan Rishi, who is our co-host, can recognize and call out names possibly. Venugopal Prabhu, yes.
Thank you very much, Guru Maharaj, so for giving this opportunity to speak a few words. I'm really very much thankful for. My voice is clear, is audible.
Yeah, I would request actually Narayan to kind of feature those who are speaking so that we can see them more clearly. Spotlight, yeah.
Spotlight.
We want to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it's actually for many days we were all discussing about the Varnashram Dharma and how to implement. But we are very much fortunate. So you are conducting this session 10 days and 10 modules are there, and very interesting modules. And definitely, I hope that students who registered for this course, they'll be getting the good awareness at least. So then after that, they can start working on their own areas, implementing, and also further doing the research and further developing. Actually, Guru Maharaj, so Bhakti Raghu Maharaj, that means under his guidance, this ministry started 2009 in IDVM. So IDVM is ISKCON Daivarnash Ministry. Is the ministry under the ISKCON India and under the bureau. So Maharaj was the minister, first minister, and I was at the time Varnashram System Director. I'm just a young boy actually. That means I was having maybe 24, and I was not able to. So Maharaj gave the mission of to start 108 Varnashram systems in all over India. So still I am remembering that. So by the Maharaj's mercy, so I went to study the different subject matters deeply, and also I learned the Dharma Shastras also, and also other subject matters which are needed to do more nicely and to design some Varnashram system. So anyway, so that is Maharaj's blessing. So definitely all of you, please come regularly, and it's very important. And Srila Prabhupada is having the vision of implementing Varnashram Dharma. So from the very beginning, it's not that people think that he's gradually evolved this Varnashram Dharma in his teachings. We may see, but like that. But actually, fact is, in 1949, when he wrote letter to Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, so there itself, all this, that means plan is there. The 4 movements and elaboration of these 4 movements is done in the Gita Nagari essay. And it's a very important essay. And Maharaj already implemented community in Indonesia. There is a wonderful community actually. So more than 70 to 80 families are there, and they are all having the temple, and they are living in a simple lifestyle in a village, rural-based life. And he made success of that project. And India also some projects is going on actually. They are progressing. So this VCF is the Maharaj interest actually is the whole Varnashram College Foundation. This is his advisor for this. So, and he is helping those directors to come in, take it forward. So Maharaj is helping them to design some curriculum and so on. So, but this Varnashrama college is the one of the important aspect for our movement, and we don't know how to start it. But now, by the guidance of these senior devotees, Rupa disciples, so under their guidance, and also they made it successful in the projects. So I request all of you to be interactive in the class. In the class, you should be interactive and ask the many more practical questions. So you might be, many students are there from my courses, also old courses. You might be studying so-called theory from me, but actually practical lessons you learn from the senior devotees and who implemented. And I didn't do anything actually, no implementation from my side. And it is great. So opportunity for all of us. And that's why it's not that they always be like a passive mode and try to hear and something write in the book, but be interactive and be alert in the class and try to get the more and more questions and practical questions. So you can ask the Maharaj, and so then it will be very much helpful for you to get the more faith on this. And also there are so many things Maharaj is doing that means pioneering these projects, Varnashrama projects, for last since more than 25 to 30 years. So that's why it is very much important for us. So getting this association, and it is very rare. So I request all of you to utilize this very sincerely and so get benefit. So thank you very much for all of you. So Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Venugopal Prabhu. And yes, I think the point that he has made regarding inviting and encouraging the participation of those who are part of the seminar, very important. And by the end of our presentation, definitely we don't want to keep things only on the theoretical level, but we also will be making some practical suggestions and inviting also from all of you practical ways in which things can be in the practical way implemented in your respective local areas as well. So, okay, we'll take some hands. I see, okay, 2 participants have raised their hands. So, Narayan Rishi, you can choose which ones, okay?
Yeah, I just asked them to unmute.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. This is Shyam Chandra Das here. I've logged in from Shyam Chandra Das. I'm basically from Mumbai, but currently I'm based in Vrindavan.
Okay. Somebody, 1 second, maybe. As I mentioned a little earlier, those who are speaking, they can be highlighted or spotlight so that we can see. Yeah. Go ahead, Prabhu.
Yes, thank you, Maharaj. So I just wanted to first of all thank you very much for this wonderful seminar session initiative that is going to benefit all the participants. And today the introduction session also was very interesting. It gave an idea about what you are going to share over the next few days. Essentially, because you mentioned about its hidden secrets or hidden seeds that Srila Prabhupada had already written in 49 and also in 1956. So I'm really eager to looking forward to it, so that wherever possible, whichever place we are in, we can try to implement that in a minuscule way in the society. So I have just 2 questions, Maharaj. First question is, why was it kept hidden for so many years? Because we are calling it hidden, and then yet nobody is aware of it. So why was it kept hidden? Because so many things are known about Srila Prabhupada. So why was this particular important essay kept secret? So that is my first question. And second question is, when we read Bhagavatam, we understand that Varnashrama Dharma does not lead really to bhakti. Because it's mainly for people to get into it, but then ultimately the bhakti is coming primarily from the way that we have been taught through Mahat Seva. So is this a refined approach to Varnashram Dharma, which is, bhakti oriented? The general Varnashram Dharma, we all understand that it is just for, Shramehevi Kevalam. That's what they say in general. So these two are, the questions which I had in mind. If you can kindly help to this.
Yes, okay, thank you for the questions. So why the essay on Gita Nagari has remained hidden? Well, it's been in the folio all along, so it is hidden and not hidden simultaneously. It's just like the whole knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is also hidden. One must come to a certain point or certain level to uncover the hidden secrets of Bhagavad Gita, actually. So it means that actually, of course, because Gita Nagari is very much dealing with the subject matter of Varnasrama, and although Varnasrama has been a topic that Srila Prabhupada spoke about extensively and on many occasions, for a number of reasons that I guess will come up in some of the modules that we will be presenting. It has never been seen or accepted as a priority, unfortunately, up to now within our ISKCON society. And I would say that that misunderstanding is there because devotees, including many of our leaders, have not taken the time sufficient, I would say, to really go into the actual meaning and the importance, especially for us as a movement, of the Varnashrama Dharma. So there are a number of reasons. To a large extent, I would say, because Varnashrama, to this day, as I mentioned a little earlier, we don't have a global ministry for Varnashrama. The only place where we are giving importance to Varnashrama is here in India, where the leaders, to their good credit, established a national ministry in 2009, as we mentioned earlier. So it's it is not really hidden in that it is there in the various purports, not only purports, but also direct texts of the Srimad Bhagavatam. But it has remained concealed or hidden because, similar to Bhagavad Dharma. Bhagavad Dharma is something that is very scientific, very deep, and very profound, very elaborate. So Varnashrama Dharma is similar, not only similar, but is identical in all those respects. It is also very scientific. It is also very profound. And it is also the eternal system that Krishna has given to the conditioned souls in the material world, isn't it? So main reason, just to finish on this first point, why it has remained hidden is because the whole aspect or the whole concept of Varnashrama Dharma has been for many, not only decades, but many centuries misused, abused, in so many ways misunderstood, and that carries on to this day, and therefore we have, in many ways, I would say we have failed to really take to heart what Prabhupada wanted us to do in terms of closely looking at and actually implementing, Varnashrama dharma. And your second point, what was your second point again? You can unmute, Prabhu.
Yes, I was just muted, I think.
Yeah.
The second point was, we understand that from Bhagavatam, this Varnashrama Dharma actually focuses upon the Chatur Purushartha, that is Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. But where is the scope of bhakti in Varnashrama Dharma? So that is what I was thinking, whether our focus in this Varnashrama Dharma how it will be incorporating bhakti also.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Well, I think we have to more closely look at how Srila Prabhupada, not only Srila Prabhupada, but also Shastra is explaining about Varnashrama Dharma. In one purport, I believe in the Bhagavatam, Prabhupada translates or equates Varnashrama as divine culture. Our recent acharyas, beginning with Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, also have put the word Daiva before Varnashrama. Therefore, we in many of the purports of our writings of our acharyas, beginning with Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we hear about Daiva Varnashrama. So it means that actually Varnashrama, although a material arrangement, a material social system, is meant to actually be spiritualized. And there are very interesting and important statements made by our acharyas. For example, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur states that all activities within Varnashrama Dharma, when they are dovetailed in the service of Krishna, those activities actually become bhakti. So in other words, as long as we are here in the material world, in any way influenced or connected with the modes of material nature, we absolutely need to work within the framework of Varnashrama Dharma. And that Varnashrama Dharma, when we keep Krishna as the main focus, that so-called material system or arrangement becomes spiritualized. And the Prabhupada makes important statements whereby he says that it is actually necessary. There are many conversations to that effect. It is actually necessary to practice Varnashrama Dharma for one to become Vaishnava. Now, that might seem contradictory, but actually it's not. In as much as we can more easily understand that to become a pure devotee, to come to the level of a pure devotional service, the general process for the maximum majority of devotees is to take up sadhana bhakti, isn't it? So sadhana bhakti is the beginning level of bhakti. It is generally mixed, and therefore it is not pure bhakti, but that sadhana is necessary for us to actually attain, again, for the vast majority of devotees, means the vast majority of conditioned souls. And this is further corroborated by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who mentions that actually the system of Varna ashrama, is that system for the Vaishnavas in their conditioned state. So there's no contradiction. Varnashrama dharma is meant to be an integral part of our practice. And of course, if one comes to the level of pure bhakti, then all of these different rules and regulations within the system of varnashrama do become secondary. But until we reach that perfectional stage of becoming fully liberated from these modes of material nature, we must actually work within the framework of varnashrama dharma. Some of this will be coming up in some of the modules, so I'll just keep it at that for the time being. I think there might be one or two more hands raised. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. Hare Krishna.
Very well. Yes.
Hello, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes.
Yeah. Good to see you again, sir.
Okay, Haribol. Go ahead, Prabhu. Oh, Maharaj.
Yeah. I was lost. I was lost in the crowd.
Welcome, Maharaj.
Yeah, it was our good friend Devarishi. He invited me to come.
Okay, yes.
I didn't know about this.
Okay,
But
yeah.
I've been hearing about your projects and so many things. And of course, I think you even formally enlisted me to be on the advisory board for the college.
You are one of our advisors, Maharaj.
Okay, my advice is get a job. Get a job. No, I said so many things. Of course, we've also been involved in this topic for a long time, in very dynamic fashion. And so, but I think so many topics and other things will come up during the seminar. So maybe what I would just mention, I think essentially, in 2004, we started the North American Institute for Oriental and Classical Studies. Okay. It's a nonprofit educational corporation in Tennessee. Nitai Gaur Sundar Das, Ravi Prakash Singh, he's our co-founder. He's head of geriatric psychiatry here in Nashville, which we're all headed to see him eventually. And we've been able, because the Bhaktivedanta Institute, I was working for so many years with Maharaj, Bhakti Swarup Damodar, and so many people, but it was focused on, scientific perspectives. And we're working in that, but our real nature is actual cultural anthropology. Psychology, social psychology. Of course, I graduated in psychology. And we've been developing programs on a worldwide basis. We're working with people who are related to the United Nations. There you go. Working with people who are related with the United Nations. Hector Behar, very significant professor in South America. We're working with the Bhaktivedanta Research Center with, what's his name? Samanta Rudra in Guranga, and especially now, so many things. I'm back in our base after traveling through Spain and India, and we're in Nashville, based here in Nashville area. And we've been doing so many educational programs, like I'm talking about, symposia and different things with the National Library of India, the National Museum of India, so many good programs, and we're struggling to do something. But now we're coming to this point that now we've been thinking about it, but now we're specifically doing this. We're starting to investigate buying about 50 acres of land, right near Nashville. Yeah. And it's like we have so many people that are coming around here, and of course yourself and the college also is very significant in terms of that development, and and the focus would of course be starting off with a teacher training college.
Yes.
The idea would to be train people in our educational perspective, attitude, system, force, but also have it so that they would be, you know, fully qualified to satisfy the secular requirements any place, you know. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And the second aspect would, of course, would be educational administrators training, you know, training teachers. Then after that, of course, or just you can do anything you want to do because you can figure out what's the next most important program.
Right.
So it's very, very seriously developing. We have, you know, very, very nice connections from our side, but we're just one organization, especially in Latin America and North America, you know.
Yes.
And so there are so many other topics, you know, but here, that's why I'll be able to participate again. Also, I was informed of this late. So on Friday, we'll be doing a lecture simultaneously the same time with, what's his name? Radha, what's his name? He handles the Radhika Nagar. Yeah, Radhika Nagar, no? He works with the Mayapur Institute. He's organizing the Mayapur TV classes in Spanish.
Oh,
so I'll be doing Mayapur TV class. I think it starts at 9 o'clock and it'll be finished at 10 o'clock.
Oh.
So we may be able to participate on Friday.
Okay.
Then we'll be able to stay all the way through. But then on what is it, on Saturday, which may be the last day, then we'll also, I think, have some other events also with Atul Krishna. We're working with Atul Krishna with the Board of Examiners, and so we'll be having a meeting with them also about the Bhakti Vedanta diplomas and establishing questions for those.
Yes.
So I just wanted to, you know, just introduce ourselves and say we're very enthusiastic about the program, and I think we're running in many ways very parallel. It's like we've been developing maybe symposium programs more and international congresses and waiting to get the land going. And so it's like, I always, your model of make Vrindavan villages, you know, I always translate that and say, start with Vrindavan orchards. Yeah, because the cows are a more advanced, you know, program and the people, but fruit trees, they're tough. You know, and they give fruits right away. And
I'm sitting in a mango orchard right now.
Yeah.
With mangoes.
Oh, and mango flies too. No, the flies come to get their share, and wow.
Anyway,
so we're here, and you know, however we can help, we would be very happy. You know.
Okay, I appreciate your joining us, Maharaj, and sharing some of your thoughts and activities, and we'll look forward for some interaction possibly. Thank you, Maharaj. Haribol. I think we have a few minutes possibly for one or two hands that were.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Raghunath Puridas, my humble obeisance at Lotus feet. Thank you, Maharaj. For the, this was an opportunity I got to know yesterday only, and somehow could register it. I'll keep it very short, but thing is that I should appreciate my first introduction to Deva Ashram, like Varna Ashram, because I studied in Ranchi in a missionary school. So, as you know, in our country, so Varna Ashram, nobody wants to speak. But just Maharaj, because you inaugurated Kutam. So I was there in Ranchi and I got an opportunity to visit with my family. I stayed there for 4 or 5 hours with Das Gadadhar Prabhu, and I could see what exactly you meant about what is Varnashram. I could see children doing puja also, children doing even cooking also, attending cows, sitting in the class and getting the classes. Everything was being done. And in fact, my wife, being a school teacher, she could also appreciate. And I was not actually, frankly speaking, Maharaj, because we have been told, like in India, where actually Varnashram was there right from beginning. Now this country is struggling even to understand what is Varnashram. So Maharaj, first thing is that my question is that where we, from the root itself, we have been uprooted. We are completely, psychologically, we have been put across that Varna ashram is a big, big, black rot or whatever it is in our society. So Maharaj, with your blessings, how we should go ahead. And this country where it existed, outside, okay, we can always think about, but here it has been now deep rooted that Varna ashram is just against the society. Yes, Maharaj.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhu. Actually, it reminds me of a bit more than, maybe about 150 years back, when Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was beginning to preach about Vaishnavism. At that time, actually, the whole concept of Vaishnavism in society was very negative. People had very bad thoughts and bad impression of Vaishnavas, largely because people in the name of Vaishnavism were engaged in all kinds of dharmic activities. So therefore, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who was totally convinced about the importance and the purity of Vaishnava Dharma, preached and extensively spoke on the subject matter. So similarly, we have to do two things. We have to study what our Shastra is explaining about Varnashrama Dharma, and we have to have a very clear understanding of its importance. Once we have such understanding, then we have to actually demonstrate. Our whole philosophy in Krishna consciousness becomes important or comes to life when we are actually able to apply our philosophy in a day-to-day life. And this is the challenge we have. This is the challenge that ISKCON as a worldwide society has to show the whole world, actually, that Krishna consciousness, specifically in terms of how society is meant to be organized, we must return to the Vedic natural way of living, which in the very beginning of this presentation, I showed a slide regarding agrarian lifestyle. So we may not immediately be able to understand, but actually this is meant to be the norm in society, where we are as individuals and as communities every day directly and intimately connected with land, directly and intimately connected with cows, directly and intimately connected with the cultivation of this higher knowledge. So these are the three natural gifts of nature that have been given, that is explained nicely by Grandfather Bhishmadev in the Mahabharata. The three natural gifts of nature that we cannot do without are cows, land, and culture. And modern day society has thrown all of those out the window, so to speak, are totally exploiting these three, and therefore the whole of society, the whole of mankind is in a total disarray, including India. The more we neglect these three aspects, then we will remain in our confused, chaotic condition. And therefore, that's why we have these seminars. We'll be giving some practical suggestions and ways how all of us in our own respective individual ways, wherever we may be, can begin to actually implement by understanding more and more about its importance, its absolute importance, I would say, because as Prabhupada, and I'll close on this point here, as Prabhupada would say, those who are not within the system of Varnashrama, they are not considered as civilized human beings. I mean, a very strong statement. One is recognized as being civilized, as being advanced, when one actually accepts and works within that system of Varna and Ashrama. Although we have, I think, one more hand up, I want to keep to our time, and maybe whatever question may be there, we can carry it possibly to our next session. So I want to thank all the devotees once again for being present in our first seminar this evening. And we look forward to seeing as many of you as possible in tomorrow's session again. Thank you all very much. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki. Hare
Jai.
Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.